On the Tuesday morning, between yesterday and tomorrow, a collection of short stories from Val's Sanctuary of Creativity. Oh, how I loved my life back then. I had crossed the bond again from Italy to the United States, wanting to explore living the life of an artist. The opportunities waiting seemed limitless, and shortly after my return, I visited the textile district of Manhattan, or what remained of it, offering my skills and talent as a designer. I was driven and quite a bit vain, but not a sellout. I turned down Nicole Miller's offer to design her cruise wear, and I decided against selling my art to textile studios or other designers. Instead, I found a homely little nook in the Five Towns, on the south shore of Long Island. There, I immersed myself in creative self-expression. Life was good and effortless, and the time was mine to be and do as my savings dwindled away. Resourcefulness has always been a part of me, and so it didn't take long for me to discover that I could work as an independent contractor, doing shifts in local restaurants. Ultimately, depending on my needs, I would work in restaurants within a 1-mile radius. I served people breakfast and lunch on Saturday and Sunday at the country club. Sometimes I served the same people special dinners on Monday and Tuesday night at the local diner. Then I would serve them again at an Italian restaurant or at a party which I had decided to work. I knew their food order before they could decide what to eat. They called me honey and kissed me on the cheek when they returned from vacation, almost as if they were coming back home to me. When I happened to meet them outside of the familiar eateries, many did not know me. I got to know people and their ways by serving them food. It was one of those beautiful September mornings that we had been waiting for after a long, hot summer. Most days, I would get up and drive around the corner for my coffee, and then head down to my beach. I call it my beach because I hardly ever met anybody there in the morning. It wasn't the most desired place on the South Shore, but for me it was the spot. From there one could see the skyline of Manhattan in the distance on a good day. It was going to be my last night at the diner later that evening, as I had given notice to leave 2 weeks earlier. Now my car didn't start that morning, and as I returned back home to call my mechanic, the telephone rings. It was my brother from Italy asking me to turn on the television. Our father had caught what seemed to be a live report from New York. They wanted confirmation as to whether the report was real or a show. I turned the television on. What I heard was all over the Spanish-speaking channels, but in my heightened state of alert, I understood every word of the news reports. What I saw then felt very personal, a stabbing into my heart when the second plane hit the tower, and the dismay at the depths of my soul when a short while later the building disintegrated into itself. I confirmed with them that it was real. If asked today, I would respond that it was a life-changing event. My auto mechanic came and exchanged the car battery. I don't remember how, but I found myself on the beach with coffee in hand, looking into the distance where there was gray smoke filling the clear blue sky. I sat on the rocks for a long time. The sound of the waves was comforting. I couldn't wait for the time to come when I went to work. It would be my last day there. I arrived early, and the diner was buzzing. The energy was one of connection. It wasn't the food that connected us. It was the stories that were shared. Everyone was eager to tell of their events of the day. Some people still had dust on their clothes. Others had walked many miles over bridges, and now they needed a drink. I have never before or after sold as many drinks as on that evening. It was heartwarming to listen to the accounts from acquaintances and strangers. It was also human, and I felt in service. When my shift came to a close, there was no room for goodbyes, and so I just left. Little did I know that evening, as I lay in bed thinking of all the stories with an injured soul, that life for me would never be the same again.